Hello, folks. We're going to talk about Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. We've already seen Canterbury Tales, I mean, Chaucer, and we can divide it into three periods of his life. First is the Italian, the French, the Italian, and then we have the English period. So, Chaucer wrote Canterbury Tales during his English period. So, we're going to see characters in detail, and this is very important work, and knowing all the characters is very vital, but they're easy if you can remember them in a class sequence. So here goes. First and foremost, let's get to Chaucer's Middle English. He wrote in Middle English, that is, you should understand, Old English was enriched by French and Latin. There are lots and lots of French and Latin words in that, so you should know that. And when it comes to important and serious writing, what these writers did was they wrote in French and Latin in those days, and then if they wanted like comic writing light, then English, because English they can use it for vulgar purposes. It didn't need to be like intellectually strong and stuff. So that's Chaucer's Middle English for you. And next, so here comes Prologue to Canterbury Tales. First and foremost, the Canterbury Tales is a long work, but he couldn't complete it. This is only the prologue. Prologue is something, the starting of a story. That's called a prologue. What happens before the story? So right now, what happens is there are some pilgrims who are on their way to Canterbury Cathedral. Actually, it is actually the shrine of St. Thomas Becket, and so they're all on their way now. They're all staying in a inn called the Tabard Inn, almost like 29 pilgrims, but you should remember there are sometimes 30 and 31 is the number. As you can see, list of 30 pilgrims. Where are these people coming in? Narrator, knight, squire, all these people's lines have been given out here. So totally we have around 30 pilgrims. Some books have include the host, so we have 31, but all in all we are having 30 pilgrims. So narrator would be Chaucer himself. He is being that, but without narrator there will be 29 characters as such. So these are the things you need to know before we get into the character analysis. But before that, you should know the hierarchy, the class structure during the Chaucer's time. Now what happens is, during the time, the nobility of the ruling class, that's the knight and the squire, they were in the highest order, like they are after the king. They ruled the entire place. They were in the highest order, and then comes the clergy. The church was very powerful in those days, so they were at the top. You know, the clergy, the monk, the friar, prioress, parson, summoner, partner, all these clergy who belonged to the church were in the second level. And eventually, as the middle class, we come to merchants, doctors, student, wife of bath, and all these working class people. Finally, the peasants, the miller, the skipper, the plowman, all these low jobs. But at our time, it'll be different. But in those days, these things were totally different. So the knight, the squire, monk, friar, prioress, parson, summoner. There'll be second class, third class, and fourth class citizens. So you need to know this, because all these characters are arranged according to their social hierarchy. If you read the prologue, Chaucer goes from the nobility, then the clergy, and the middle class, and then the peasants. So you need to know this arrangement, and if you know this arrangement, it's easier for you to remember all the characters. So first and foremost, we need to see what kind of society they make up of. These people are workers. First section, like landed gentry, there's the franklin, and professionals like sergeant, doctor, tradesmen, secular employees, municipal and reeve, laborers, shipmen, yeomen, cook, peasants, plowmen. These people all work. So these are all workers. And then we have those who fight. Only two people are there. That's the knight and the squire. We'll talk about each character in detail, so you don't need to worry about that at this moment. So next, we're going to talk about those who pray. These are all religious people, but in religion also there is an hierarchy. So first, there is this religious order. We talk about the monk, prioress, friar, nuns, priest, and second is the nun. These are all the religious order. And then comes the parish clergy, the parson, and then the student clerk at Oxford, and the church employees like partner and someone else. So this is how this play: those who work, those who pray, those who fight. So three kinds of people are there. So now let's get into the character analysis first. So now the first character, as we saw the hierarchy, these people are the noble people. First, we're going to talk about the knight. These are the words which talk about the knight, that is truth, honor, freedom, and courtesy. So we're talking about the knight here. And so who's a knight? Knight is a crusader there. Okay, so what do you mean by a crusade? So in those days, what happened was Jerusalem was considered the Holy Land where Jesus was born, and then the Muslims took over Jerusalem. So from Britain, some brave soldiers thought they should free Jerusalem from the hands of the Muslims. So they started from England to Jerusalem. That's why they were called as crusaders. So the knight takes part in the crusade, and he comes back and he talks about this tale. Like, that's, you should notice that these pilgrims had decided, like, when they go they'll say 2 stories, and when they come they'll have 2 stories. So knight's tale, he talks about this crusades. Okay, so he is very gentle to the gentlemen, but bad guys, he'll kick them. That's his plan, the knight. And he lives by the code of chivalry. Chivalry is bravery. Go fight, save somebody, that kind of things. That's the knight. And next character is the squire. So squire is no one but the son of the knight. He is actually in training to become a knight, but you should notice he's just a young guy, so he likes to flirt around, talk to girls. He's just lover kind of guy, lusty bachelor kind of guy, so he just loves that. So that's squire for you. He likes to sing, play the flute, and all these things. So that's the knight and his son, the squire. So we saw 2 characters. You can remember them as KS, and one more character is there in the noble ranks. We call him the yeoman. Yeoman dude takes care of the woods, the green, and all these things. He takes care of the greenery, and he's like a gardener, and who also accompanies the knight and the squire. His clothing is also green. He's like taking care of nature and sort of thing. But his dressing sense, he's going on a pony, and all these things, these are all criticized by Chaucer. See, Chaucer had a great sense of humor when he talks about religious people and all the other peoples. He said like how they act religious but they're not religious. So he brings out all the hypocrisy in them. So we've seen 3 characters. One is the knight, next to the squire, the third one is the yeoman. So you just remember them as KSY. So we finished KSY. Now we're going to the prioress. Now we're talking about the religious people. Prioress is like she's the head, and other sisters or nuns are under her. She's like the head. Her name is Madame Eglantine. She's very well mannered, tender hearted, very sweet, but she likes social companies than religious companies. That is, she wants to act out. Now, Amor Vincent, that line, the Latin phrase which means love conquers all, she's got a ring with that, but she's not like helping and all. Instead of being a religious lady, she just likes social parties and things. That kind of woman is the prioress. So now we are getting into the religious realm. Now when we talk about religion, you should realize that prioress is in fact sarcastically mentioned out here. She ought to be good, she ought to be talking about God, but she's not doing that. So here Chaucer is using his wonderful sarcasm to talk about the characters. So KSY, and we have the next thing called P. That's the prioress, then the monk. Monks, even the basic term means to live a very austere life without any kind of enjoyment or something. Here he's the opposite. He's a hypocrite. He just violates every monastic rule. He drinks a lot, he enjoys his time, and he doesn't even live in poverty. He's like a rich guy and stuff. So this is the monk, and Chaucer points out the problems of the church through him. he shows us the hypocrisy of the church through the monks. So you understand, Chaucer is not only saying a story, but he's telling about the people, the character, the place, the setting, what kind of people are there. That's basically what literature is. It's just reflecting everyone there. And so we talked about 4 characters: the knight, the squire, the yeoman, and then the prioress. Now we have the monk. Let's remember him as PM. Prioress, the monk. They're on the religious realm. And then the friar. Friar is a priest, okay, but he is also not the good person. He's ironic. He's like not good. He's with ladies instead of serving the lepers and beggars. Instead of doing social service, this guy is servicing all the ladies. That's a side business to support his more worldly habits, like getting them free married and stuff. That kind of person is the friar. So now we understand what's happening. So we have the prioress, the monk, and the friar. PMF as in the religious hierarchy right now. And now we go to the next character. It's called the merchant. Now we enter the business kind of people. First the nobles, then the religions, now the business. The merchant, of course, as his name suggests, he's a man of business, but he looks very bad, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good businessman. He bargains, he bargains, he buys, he sells, he trades, and of course he takes risk, and he gets it all because of gets into debt. Using debt, he buys all these things. So that's actually every businessman does that. That's the merchant for you. And so we talked about KSY, PME, and now we have merchant M. So next is the clerk. Chaucer mostly talks about bad guys, but of course there are some good guys, and one of the good guys is the clerk. He's poor, but most importantly he's sincere. Though he's poor, he's very sincere. He represents what a good scholar should be. He reads, he's taking care of himself. One of the few role models in Canterbury tales. He's like the good guy, but he's a little dull. His character is not so lively. He doesn't talk much, but still he's one of the good guys, the clerk. So we have KSY, PMEM, MC, or C, shall we say. PMEM and C. Then we have the lawyer and the franklin. So lawyer, of course, he knows all about the law. He's very good at that, and of course he gets good fees as well to get people out of trouble. So that's what lawyers do, and he's a good lawyer. He's competent, he knows. And then there's the franklin. Franklin is known, he's like a country gentleman, but you should know that he is an Epicurean. Epicurean means it's a philosophy. Epicurus philosophy means they like to eat, they like to drink, they like to enjoy their life, they don't know anything else. They are Epicurean in nature. That's what Epicurus means. So he's very Epicurus about it. And so we talked about 2 characters, LF, lawyer, and franklin. So right now we have KSY, PME, then MCLF. So like KISS, PME, MCLF, and then we go to the 5 guildsmen. Now totally we have covered 10 characters. Now guildsmen are 5. Guildsmen are actually trade people, they're like a union. What you should know generally about them is that their wives are not happy. Even though these guys are getting good money, their wives are not happy. They are just like they preposterously sell things out. They're like that. But you should notice what are their names. As I've shown you earlier, you can see the bottom end, you can see haberdasher is one guildsman, then dyer, carpenter, weaver, carpet maker. So who's a haberdasher and who's a dyer? Dyers are who dyes things, you know that. And the carpenter, cutting wood and stuff. Weaver, clothing. Carpet maker. So these are all the merchants in those days. So you need to know. Now we had covered actually together 15 characters, not one character, two characters. We have covered 15 characters. If you had noticed, there are totally around 29 characters without the narrator. With the narrator it will be 30, and with the in the tablet inn there was this guy who takes care of the inn. If you count that guy, we're gonna get 31. So it's not an issue. So who's an haberdasher? He's a dealer in small items used in sewing, such as buttons, zips, and thread. A dealer in men's clothing, small items. So he's such a dealer like that. So you know all the meanings. Haberdasher, dyer, carpenter, weaver, and carpet maker. Now let's get back to business. 5 guildsmen. So totally around 15 characters are done. We have knight, the squire, the yeoman, the prioress, monk, friar, the merchant, clerk, lawyer, and franklin. And now we have the guildsman, haberdasher, the carpet maker, all these guys. Next we have the cook and the shipman. The cook, of course, he cooks, that's what he does, but he is a worker for the guildsman. He works for the guildsman. Now you should notice the prioress. Along with the prioress there are 2 more nuns. So if you count that, we're gonna have 16, 17, and now we have 18 of them. We have completed 18 of them. You should not forget that. The cook, he works for the guildsman, and he takes care of them. And now it shows, because the cook is working for the guildsman, it shows that these guys are rich. He's good in cooking, but very unhygienic. Okay, this guy doesn't even bother about hygiene. Okay, now the shipman is not a shipman at all. He's like a pirate and a seaman. He likes to rob things. He's like that kind of guy. So he's the shipman. So we have covered like the knight, the squire, the yeoman, prioress, monk, friar, merchant, clerk, lawyer, franklin, 5 guildsmen, his cook, and then the shipman. Now the doctor. This doctor is actually very skilled, but he is doing this for the money alone, and he loves gold. So here's this line of Chaucer himself: for gold in physic is a cordeal, therefore he loved gold in special. So you understand that he loves gold, so he takes care of people. He has skill and knowledge, but he doesn't have any dedication, like he's the doctor and stuff. So now we are seeing all these professional workmen. Next we're talking about the miller and the municipal. So almost 17 are gone, 18, 19. So we come here. So miller is very salt of the earth character. That means he gives a meaning to it. Beauty is rich in the medieval world, so that kind of guy. He's a good guy. Okay, he's like nice fellow. That's the miller. And the municipal, he just loves to make profits. He's the financial manager for law school, and he's just selling all these things, but whatever changes he's getting, whatever difference he's getting, he's keeping it safe. So this is the miller and the municipal. Now how to remember all these people? Now as I said, KSY, PMF, the MCLF. Then we saw the 5 guildsmen. You remember 5 guildsmen. And then we have the cook, shipman. So CSD, we call him CSD, like CSK, you can remember CSD. And then MMR. Okay, that's why the reeve. The reeve is the manager or the overseer of an estate, but this guy, he gets a good profit from the employer, same as a class of people as municipal. These guys are doing work, but at the side these guys are taking all the money. So that's the reeve, MMC. So you put them all in one class and you can remember them as easily as possible. Now look, I'm talking about the characters and what they are about, but it'll be better if you just go and look at the original lines of Chaucer. Now this is an important character, wife of Bath. Wife of Bath, her name is Allison. Allison, I think. So she's 5 times a widow. That means she's like married, they go off, married, and they go off. She's got in enormous amount of money because of marrying so many people, I suppose. Inherited and earned. She's getting a lot, and she's a weaver. You should know that. And her costumes are always red, red, red. She's associated with red, and in case you get a line about red, you can be best assured that it's the wife of Bath. Now she likes assertiveness and sensuality. Even Chaucer mentioned that she gives some amount to the church and all. She's like good and correct and stuff. Still, she acts mostly. So wife of Bath, she's important character. So we have CSD, MMR, and BPP. So wife of Bath, parson, and plowman. So as I was telling about that, there are only certain good guys. One is the clerk, and another one is parson. The parson is truly a good man. Okay, he's the best of Chaucer's religious character. He just helps people. He takes care of others. He's full of love and thing. He follows the pure Christian principles. And plowman he's just a brother. Plowman is parson's brother, I suppose. I'm not sure, but I think so. Plowman hauls dung for a living, but has a good spiritual attitude. He takes care of the things. And now is a cross reference. Pious plowman. If you have seen Age of Chaucer, you'll remember pious plowman. So connect it along with them. Those days, plowmen were basically a spiritual kind of term. They used God as a plowman who's like taking care of the land and things. So we see BPP. So KSY, PMF, MCLF, CS, 5 guildsmen, we can call them as 5Gs, and then CSD, MMR, BPP, and then we have the summoner and the partner. Okay, mostly these guys are the quoted ones. They are the summoner and the partner. This dude is not a good guy. He sells his religion. He gets like, you know, simply he takes them to court, and he itself sells, you know, sin. If you have sinned and all, he'll just forgive you for the money you give. So at play, physical condition symbolic of spiritual condition. He is not so good looking. He is looking very bad. His job was to summon people to ecclesiastical courts. That's what his job. He just summons people. That's why he's called a summoner. Ironic and not ironic, obvious. And then finally we have the partner. This partner dude, actually, he documented spiritual benefits from virtuous deeds. That is, sold pardons. If somebody sins, you can give some money and he'll pardon you. He'll say your sins are forgotten. And also, he said these are all very religious symbols, and he sold dubious relics. They're not even real, but he just sold. This is Jesus Christ, nail and stuff. So he's just so fraud. Takes advantage of the faith of the poor and simple. So here are the both very big bad guys, the summoner and the partner, and they are in the lowest religious hierarchy, as I've seen already. So we can call them as SP. So BPP SP. And so that's about it. We have seen all these characters. It will be better if you go and notice the lines, and sometimes their facial features, like he's got red nose and all these things are important. You can go through that, but when you have doubt, you can come back and listen to this. So we talked about the knight, and we talked about, let's get back to this thing. We talked about the knight, we talked about the squire, we talked about the yeoman, and then the prioress, and along with the prioress there are three more people, so you get it. And then monk, and then the friar, and then the merchant, then the Oxford cleric, The Oxford cleric also has Aristotle books placed top of his pillow. He's like that kind of guy. And then the sergeant at law, he just follows the law strictly. He's a enactment of the law himself, Franklin. Then the guildsman, as I said, the guildsman have a cook, and then the skipper. Skippers are just captains. Then doctor, wife a bath, parson, plowman, miller, municipal, reeve, summoner, partner. So these are all the characters in Pilgrims Progress. No, sorry, Prologue to Canterbury Tales, and then they are all the pilgrims moving towards Canterbury, that is Sir Thomas Becket's shrine, and they're all staying in the inn. So what's the idea is that these guys are sitting, and the narrator is talking about each one, and they're all thinking, okay, listen, when we go, we're gonna tell two tales, and when we come back, we're gonna have like two tales. This is the plan. So each one has four tales in the journey. It's like a long journey, but this never happens. This does not happen at all, because Chaucer was hardly able to finish some. Maybe the knight, the squire's tale, yeoman's tale, but that's about it. He couldn't finish all their tales as such, so it's an unfinished work. Now here's the cross reference. So if you have read Anita Nayar's Lady's Coop, this idea has been carried out again and again. So in Lady's Coupe, probably, so they're going to train. They're all in the ladies compartment, and here these ladies each one tell their tale. The ideas from Chaucer. So you need to connect these things so it's easy for you. So we already seen Age of Chaucer, and now we're seeing Chaucer's most important work, Prologue to Canterbury Tales. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.